Hi everybody! Today I want to talk about socialization, which is a really big topic that I know can be a little bit overwhelming and a little bit confusing because it's really important. And while everybody knows that socialization is really important, when you start to ask people what socialization is or how to do it, you're generally going to get a lot of different answers. So I wanted to make a 4-part video series, or a 3-part video series, it's a 4-part blog post, really diving into socialization a little more deeply and explaining to you how we do it. And along with this video series on YouTube and on Facebook, I also have a 4-part video series going right now about how to start a service dog. It's called The First 30 Days, and it's really an inside look into what we do with our puppies for the first 30 days to give them a really big jump start in their training. And there's a whole video in there, it's like 25 minutes or something, on socialization with lots of video examples about showing you exactly like how we actually do it with our puppies, because we take videos of everything all the time. So that's going on right now. The link is in the description so that you can watch those videos, because we spend a lot of time talking about how to help people get the same fast and solid results that we get when we're training our service dogs, because we want people to get those same results and we want it to go as smoothly as possible. So we spend a lot of time thinking about and talking about what it is exactly that we do as dog trainers that make the training go so smoothly and so quickly. And so the first 30 days, the video series going on now, and what you're going to learn in these socialization videos, I think is a part of why we tend to have pretty smooth training. Now, of course, we have challenges, and, it still takes a year to train a service dog, but we tend to be pretty smooth with things, as a lot of professional trainers are. This is not just us. So the first 30 days, the video series is going to show you exactly what we focus on for that first month of training so that we can jumpstart our dogs. And how we socialize is a huge part of that. So when I start asking people, what is socialization, or how do you do socialization with your puppy, we get, varying answers that kind of run along a similar thread, right? That is introducing the puppy to people, introducing the dogs or the puppy to dogs, making sure that the puppy is comfortable in new environments or social with people or friendly or something like that. And while that is certainly a piece of socialization, socializing your puppy is actually a much broader concept. There's actually a lot more to it than that. And I think that this is why we have so much success with our puppies so quickly, as do other professional trainers, is because there's more to socialization than it sounds like there is. So I actually have a bunch of notes today because I want to make sure that I hit everything and, all the important points. But socialization is something that we do with humans too. So babies, like have a socialization or whatever, but there's a definition for it in the psychology world. So we define socialization in people as a continuing process whereby an individual acquires a personal identity and learns the norms, values, behavior, and social skills appropriate to his or her social position. So that's a lot more than just learning how to interact with people, right? That has to do with learning behaviors, learning social skills, learning values, and learning what is normal, right? So, okay, so that's all great and dandy and whatever, but what about puppies, right? Because puppies aren't children. So the definition that I like is the one that Laura, and I can never pronounce her last name, but she's a Karen Pryor Academy certified training partner. She's phenomenal, and she has a book called Social, Civil, and Savvy, which I will link to in the description as well, and it is an excellent book on puppy socialization. And she defines socialization in there as the acquisition of cultural habits and social communication to equip an individual to live in society. Right? So that's more than just getting your puppy used to things. This means that, when we socialize our puppy, it's about setting up behaviors, habits, and routines that your puppy is going to carry with him for the rest of his life. So we actually want to take that pretty seriously, right? It's more than just making sure our puppy is used to things. It's about setting up behaviors he's going to use for the rest of his life. So this is things like social skills, self-control, confidence, and walking well on a leash and everything like that. So if we think about what is normal for an adult service dog, right? What do we want our adult service dogs to look like if we kind of took a picture of what a service dog does? Is that we want our service dogs to be calm, well-behaved, walk nicely on a leash, and ignore distractions, right? So we want to be able to bring an adult service dog into any new environment and have them ignore all the people, all the sounds, and all the animals while listening to all your cues and walking nicely on a leash. So if that's what is normal for a service dog as an adult, then that's what we need to set up now with our puppies. So with our puppies, we focus on three things, and the first one is what I'm talking about now. When we're socializing puppies, we want to build focus and normal routines. We also want to build confidence and optimism as the second thing, which is what I'm going to talk about next week. And then we want to build two-way communication between us and the puppy, and that's what I'll talk about the following week, right? So 2 weeks from now or something like that. So building focus is one of the really important things that we want to build now because, like we already mentioned, as an adult, we want our puppies to ignore everything. So what this means is that we need to set up right from the beginning. We need to build a puppy that, while confident, which we'll talk about next week, is really good at ignoring things. We need to build a puppy that it can ignore more people, can just walk past all the people. We need to teach our puppies right from day one they have to walk nicely on a leash and they have to pay attention to us. Okay, so socialization should not be a free-for-all. You don't want to just take your puppy to Petco and let him greet everything and pull you on a leash and play with all the dogs and greet all the humans, because that's not what normal life is going to look like for your puppy as he grows up, right? So this means that we need to spend at least as much time teaching our puppies to ignore people as we do letting them greet people. And that goes for dogs as well. So yes, I want your service dog to be social with other dogs and friendly, but I don't want him to think that he gets to greet every single dog that he sees, right? We want him to ignore most of the dogs. So with our puppies, it's really more like 90% of the time we expect them to ignore people and ignore the other animals. And then 10% of the time, we will cue them to go say hi. And so this is something that you definitely want to watch our video series, the first 30 days, because we're going to go kind of in depth on that as well. So the difference between letting your puppy just greet anybody they want and waiting for permission, or better yet, earning permission. And so that's something that we're going to talk about in the video series. So teaching our puppies, socializing our puppies, kind of sounds a lot like training. Right? I mean, we want them to walk nicely on a leash, we want them to focus on us, we want them to ignore things, and that's because it is. Okay, so every time you interact with your puppy, you are training him, whether you mean to or not. So you need to be intentional with what you do. So our puppies never leave the property unless we have treats and a clicker. Now, we might not use them, but we always have them. And we do that so that we can always reinforce the puppies for good behavior and we can build those habits that we want right from the beginning. So let me just check my notes, make sure I stay on task. So the other thing about socialization is that it is about quality over quantity. So when I take a puppy out into public, his whole socialization trip may last 5 minutes. And that's because one 5-minute trip in which he learns to be confident and focus on me is much better than a 20-minute trip in which he loses his attention and stops focusing on me and creates a habit of being distracted. So the things that we teach our puppies before we take them out for socializing for the first time is, one, how to offer attention, so to look at us voluntarily without being cued, and then also to walk nicely on a leash. Now, they don't have to be perfect before we take them out in public, but we want them to have kind of a general understanding. So you can teach both of those things in your living room in maybe 2 to 3 training sessions. So we do start socializing our puppies right away at 8 weeks. And we do that with our vets, very close supervision and permission. So I have not worked with a vet in the last 10 years that advised keeping a puppy home until all of his shots were done, because socialization is too important. It is too important to the long-term behavioral health of your puppy and the success of him turning into a service dog. So it is too important to leave him in a house for 16 weeks. So talk to your vet, work with your vet, and make sure that everybody's comfortable with how you're socializing your puppy. But we do take ours out before their vaccine series is done. Now we like it started, so they've had at least one vaccine, and we don't take them anywhere where there could be lots of unvaccinated dogs. So we don't go to the dog park, we don't go to Petco or any place like that. We just stick to kind of hardware stores and Hobby Lobby and places that not a lot of dogs are going to have been. So, like I said, it is definitely about quality over quantity. So our whole socialization outing might be only 5 to 10 minutes. So if you go to the blog, there's going to be a video in there showing a very short training session, or better yet, so like I said, socialization is definitely about quality over quantity, because we can't undo a bad experience. We can't undo, an outing in which your puppy got afraid or he became distracted or something like that. So it is definitely about short, successful trips. So you're definitely going to want to check out our video series, The First 30 Days, because there is loads of video examples in there about socialization and showing you exactly what socialization looks like for our puppies. So I will see you guys next week, and that's when we're going to talk about building confidence in puppies, which is another very important priority when it comes to socialization. So I will see you guys later, and remember that we will be live on our Facebook page on Monday at noon Central Time to answer questions about this video and the accompanying blog post. So have a good day, and I hope to see you guys on Monday at noon for our live.